Hi everybody, and welcome to my very first video. My name is Wargaming Gavin, and I am going to be painting miniatures. But before I get into that, I just wanted to, just let you guys know a little bit about myself. I've been really into miniatures, specifically into D&D, but I really didn't like the aspect of having to get like a really big group to play, and it all was kind of hanging on that willingness of that group to play. And I was always stuck with being the DM. And although DM is cool for a while, I didn't really like being Dungeon Master. But I did really like the aspect of the miniatures that you would use to play. And then I was looking into this thing called Warhammer 40k. It's basically just like Dungeons and Dragons, but in space. And it only requires like 2 people, and I just think that it is like the most dopest stuff in the planet, and that's what I was piquing my interest. And I've been following a lot of people who paint miniatures and who just do this really awesome work with it, and that kind of piqued my interest. And then it all of a sudden started to drive me into making videos to paint miniatures. So I'm just going to go over like a couple of miniatures that I have painted recently. Just to show you like where I'm starting off with, because I just painted miniatures for about a month now, and I'm slowly getting my bearings straight. So hopefully we can go on this cool ride together, and as this channel grows, we get to learn more, and you get to see more work done by me at more of a higher caliber. So first of all, here we go. So this one was my very first miniature. It's not the greatest. There's stuff that I would really like to change, but this was going to be for my campaign that I was making with a group of friends, but it just fell apart. But this is for one of the infantrymen in my army. And this is just so because this is my very first painting job, and I really didn't understand painting all that much. So this is where a lot of trial and error came from, just to see like how it happened. Yeah. And then after that one, I decided that I wanted to paint this really big behemoth that I had. This one is my ultimate favorite so far. It is my Dragonborn Slaver. And I really liked how this turned out. There's a couple spots that I missed that I still got to touch up. But this is by an artist named Vornash. And really great work. I really liked what the guy did with the sculpt. It is by far really high quality and high detail. This is by far still my favorite paint job that I've ever done. I think it's because it was a little bit of a bigger figure than your normal D&D mini, so I was able to really focus in and hone in on some details. But this is by far my favorite, and I think my best job yet. And then I get into, so I was online, and I was looking at other miniatures to paint. This is for D&D, and then I came across, because I wanted to paint like these female paladins, and I did not know at the time, but these female paladins, they're not really female paladins, but I chose to make them paladins. At the time, these, they looked like they were plastic, and they didn't say anything that they were metal whatsoever. But these miniatures are in fact metal, and man, it was such a chore painting on metal. I think it's maybe because of the paint that I had. But it was kind of rough, I'm not gonna lie, because it was my first time painting metal, and painting metal to me was a kind of a challenge because it didn't really stick on as well as it does for plastic. But yeah, this is one of them. And then this is the one where I started to more experimenting with wet blending. And this is my Phoenix Paladin, where the loincloth is blending into what is orange to yellow, and then her hair is like my favorite part because I think that I just did blending. And then the cape, I still had need to do some touch-ups, but that one was, I think this one is one of my favorite metal ones that I painted. I thought that it was pretty good, and I thought that I did a really stellar paint job. And this one is the one that I'm going to be painting for you guys today. This is more like a roguish fighter that I'm going to be painting. And yeah, there's that one. And then this one is just so I could see about Warhammer, because I told you that this is going to be more predominantly Warhammer focused. So this one that I took quite a bit painting, because the person who sent me this was he painted this red, and that was for the undercoat, and I spent a lot of time trying to cover up that red. There's, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that I want to fix on this, or just maybe just get a brand new one and just paint it from scratch, because as you can see, like, a lot of the paint is caked up on there for the amount of layers that I put onto this ultramarine. And this one is the one that I'm started, and I'm thinking about maybe doing it as like a blood angel, as a base coat of red, and, you know, just doing the touch-ups and fine detail work and on the armor itself. But since I don't have any more Space Marines to really paint, or at least to a good caliber, because all of them have a base coat on it already, and I'm not really familiar with the different chapters of Space Marines, so we're going to be painting this one today. Alright, so I already took the liberty of coating this in a black primer. It's decent, I guess. But so what I'm thinking is I'm gonna give this like the type of color palette of like a rogue, maybe like some leather, definitely a green cloak, maybe like a metal breastplate. Let's see where that takes us. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint these like in very big like areas first, and then I'll just touch it up.